Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Dom Too Much, and I'm back here with another quick video. And today, what I'll be doing is ranking every archetype system from 2K14 to 2K21 current gen. I know you see 2K10, 2K13 and stuff like that, but they didn't really have a park mode, so I'm basing it off of just park and like pro-am setting of which archetype system was the best. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Well, before I get right into it, I want to show you guys that it's an S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and then trash. As you go down the list gets, as you go down the rankings, it gets worse and worse. So S being the best, and then C being the worst, and then trash just being, you know what I'm saying, just completely trash. So I'm going to just start off with every order of 2K. I know you guys might not remember 2K14, but 2K14 was the same as 2K15 and 16. From what I remember, it was basically like, you make a either defender or you make a shooter or you make like a slasher or something like that. So it was a pretty decent archetype system. So I would move that to the B tier. You couldn't get really like creative with it and like customize your own settings as you wanted to. So I would just put that in the B tier. Now 2K15, I would move that to A tier because I know, well, no. 2K15, I'm going to move it to C tier just because of the fact that you can make 7-foot demigods. And a lot of people didn't like that. But, in my opinion, it can go both ways. You can say that that doesn't need skill, but also being a 7-foot demigod I don't think it was that easy, to be honest. But, hey, I'm going to just put it at C tier because that was a little broken, the whole demigod thing. So, yeah, I'm going to put 2K15 at C tier. 2K16, that was, I believe it was balanced outside or inside player. 2K16 was a pretty balanced game. I know like you could be outside still getting contact dunks. You could be an inside still shooting threes. But it wasn't truly overpowered. So I would personally put 2K16 I would put it at B tier also, just because of the fact that you could once again not get as creative with the build. Like, yeah, you can like change the wingspan and that affect your attributes and stuff like that, but in terms of how we're looking at the builder now, you can look at this game as kind of bland because you wasn't able to customize your build. Now moving on to 2K17. This might shock you guys, but I'm putting 2K17 at S tier. 2K17 was a game where we seen plenty of diverse builds. It was not one build had an advantage over the other one. Like, a lot of people, yeah, they had 6-7 playmakers. But I also seen a lot of people with slashers, a lot of people with sharpshooters, or a lot of people with stretch bigs. How many times do you see stretch bigs now? You rarely see them. 2K17, people was making stretch big. People was actually making glass cleaners. You didn't really see rim protectors that often. But people was making lockdowns, playmakers, shot creators, sharps, stretches. I think 17 was one of the best archetype systems because there was a lot of that diversity. And not many people had the same exact build like it is now, where everybody has scoring machines, two-way scoring machines, and like 2K20 offensive threats, two-way slashing playmakers, and stuff like that. So I will be putting 2K17 at the S tier. I don't know what's up with the cover. They obviously got that one wrong. A lot of these covers are wrong now that I look at it, especially the 2K18 one. But moving on to 2K18, I'm going to go ahead and put 2K18 at the, I would probably say A tier because you was able to customize your player a little bit more. It had the archetype system where you could pick a primary and then secondary. That it was the first one with that. So, 18, you was able to pick like, okay, I want shot creating primary, slash and secondary, and then it had set you up for particular Hall of Fame badges and stuff like that. So I think that was a good system, but it was, I don't know, it's like a different way to go about it because it actually did stop people from making overpowered builds because you could not have like a slash and shot creator with like a 90-something 3-ball like you can this year. Like, it was real like specific to your build. If you was a shot creating like 3-point shooter or something like that, I don't think you was getting contact dunks that often. I don't know if you even got posterizer on anything above gold if you made a build like that. So for that reason, I am putting 2K18 in the A tier. I do think it was a better build system than 16, 14, and 15. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is just my opinion. So moving on to 19, I think 19 was also a really good build system because in 2K19, yeah, it was a lot of locks running around, hitting threes and stuff like that. But I'm not talking about like the gameplay issues. I'm talking about just builds being able to do what they're supposed to do, if you know what I'm saying. Like in 19, it was a lot of different builds in the park. You didn't just always see play sharps or always seen play shots and stuff like that. I ran into a lot of slashers, ran into a lot of post scorers, ran into a lot of even rim protectors in 19. I ran into a lot of glass cleaners, even stretch bigs too. All you guys know, Duke Dennis had that shot creating stretch, that godly shot creating stretch. Everybody started making shot creating stretches now. That game was real diverse. It wasn't many of the same build and stuff like that. So I would put 19 in the A tier. Moving on to 20. I think 20 can go. Now 20, this game, it can kind of go both ways because I know in 20 it was like you can make a two-way finisher with the 40 three-pointer and he's still green in threes. So that's more of a gameplay issue. But I think 20's concept was definitely S tier because you had pie charts. The two pie charts that you chose, whatever two play styles it was, if it was sharp and perimeter, not perimeter defense, if it was sharp and defense, you would get Hall of Fame shooting, Hall of Fame defense, gold, everything else. That's a pretty good setup because it's not like this year. This year is honestly, everyone knows it's overpowered because you can now get Hall of Fame badges in every category. But I think 2K20 was really good at just spreading out the badges to where you couldn't get Hall of Fame in every category, and also your attributes wasn't able to just skyrocket in any category that you wanted it to. If you was a perimeter defense and shooting pie chart, then you couldn't get contact dunks on that player. That player would get either like a mid-80s three-pointer and then mid-80s perimeter defense, but it couldn't get like other attributes like boosted like that. Like you couldn't get a 90 ball handle or something like that unless you were super short, and you couldn't get contact dunks. But also, what I was going to say is like you can make pure archetypes where you get more badges in that category because now you're just focused on that one play style. So I think this archetype system was definitely goated, just like 17, because in this game it was not a lot of the same builds running around. Even myself, I had a two-way sharpshooter. Not a lot of people had that build. Obviously, two-way slash and playmaker and offensive threat was the top builds. But towards the end of the year, I seen a lot of people start making like shot creators and different things like that. Even sometimes you'll see stretch bigs. Sometimes you'll see stretch rims and glass cleaners and stuff like that. I didn't see a lot of post scores in 20, but the build system was definitely diverse, and it was something fun to play with because it was not a lot of people with the same exact build because it was so easy to make one stat different from the next stat. So I am putting 2K20 in the S tier. Moving on to 2K21 current year. This game was different because, it basically took the same pie chart system, but it added a few new pie charts where like you could have like say 60% shooting, 30% playmaking, and then the rest is finishing and defense and stuff like that, to where it allowed you to be a better shooting, play sharp and stuff like that. So, that was another solid system, but I just didn't like it as much as 2K20 because it nerfed a lot of fun builds and a lot of fun like gameplay because you couldn't. It sounds bad, but it nerfed the two-way session playmaker because you couldn't even get like a 70 shot three-pointer on a two-way session playmaker. So it kind of killed the build. So now in 2K21, the only builds that you see: playmaker, shot creator, a paint beast, and let me know if I'm wrong, but that might be the only two builds that you see in that game, honestly. So with that being said, it's only two builds that's popular, so I will have to go ahead and move 2K21 current gen probably down to C tier. Yeah, I would move it down to C tier just because of the diversity. It's not a lot of different builds running around. Everybody either has a Playmaker Shot Creator or a Paint Beast. And that brings us to our last game. And if you guys know, this game, the builder system is completely broken. You cannot, I mean, yeah, I'm going to start off with the positives. You can make an overpowered player. You can have him be able to play great defense, be able to be a great shooter. He can get contact dunks, and he can also get pro dribble moves. But the problem with this build system is you cannot do it at the point guard position, the shooting guard position. Like, it's no point in making guards anymore. Guards have no advantages over power forwards because it's almost like power forwards move faster than guards for some reason, even if they're 6'7" and the guard is 6'4". So, I mean, hey, I'm putting the build system as trash, honestly, because, yeah, you can make overpowered players, but only at the power forward position. So it's only one position at the park now. It's just all 6'7s. That's all you see. You don't see anybody with like guards and stuff like that, which is why the game was fun, because not everybody had the same build. But like, you can literally run into a park game on threes and play against 3 two-way scoring machines. 3 two-way scoring machines, and that's common to do. You run up against 3 two-way scoring machines, or maybe 2 scoring machines and one like post facilitator, something like that. This game is not, I mean, you can say it's diverse because of all the different build names, but I mean, essentially everybody moves the same because their player is, yeah, you get a high 3-pointer, you get contact dunks, you're able to speed boost, you're able to have great perimeter defense, you get all the takeovers and stuff like that. So if you was able to make point guards in this game, point guards and shooting guards, I would move this builder system probably up to the A tier. Or it could possibly go into the S tier. But it's no point of making guards this year because power forwards are just that much more overpowered. You can make a power forward with around like 80 badges. If you want to make a point guard with 80 badges, you're just going to have no physicals. And also, like, other stats would just be non-existent. So, for that reason, I'm putting 2K21 Next Gen at the trash tier. Maybe it can go C tier, but me personally, I'm putting it at trash tier. Let me know what you guys think down below. Rank these yourself. And also smash that like button if you messed with this video. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. We just hit 100 subs. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. And it's down too much. And I'm out. Peace.